Hi folks, video today about main ideas and summaries and how these are going to apply to our research project. So one of the terms that you're going to see a lot in your note charts and things that I'm going to ask you to do for your annotated works cited page is come up with an objective summary for each one of the sources you end up using in your research project. And what this is just a short paragraph that tells me the main points of this article. It doesn't have to be super long. It's going to be about 3 to 5 sentences. It's just including the relevant details. There is no opinion in this yet. For this research project, we kind of have to take our opinion, set it on the shelf behind us for a couple of weeks, leave it there. We're going to come back to it when we get to our conclusions for our research paper. Before our information gathering and our writing of the background and the two perspectives that the two sides of this issue, we don't get to have an opinion yet. We have to educate ourselves first. And part of that education is just seeing things for what they are, trying to remove any bias and filters that we have as much as we can. Objective summaries help with that. Because objective means not influenced by personal feelings or interpretation. Exactly what we're looking for. And then I hope you guys know what a summary is. It's just a brief explanation of the main ideas of an article. So why do we summarize? There's kind of 3 main points why I'm having you folks do this as part of your research project. Number 1, it's conveying to me, your reader, what this source is about. Like, I don't have time to go through and read every article that every student reads into part of their includes in part of their research project. But what I can do is I can read your summary of what this article was and get an idea of, oh, here's where your information is flowing from. So it's good for me, good and good for your reader. And it really helps you evaluate information. Right? If you're having to process and truly think about an article or a source as a whole, that's going to help you find the important parts of this information and also help you build this overall picture on an issue. Because if you can say, okay, here was the summary of this idea, a summary of this idea, and this idea, and this idea, and this idea, then you can start seeing how all of these things either come together or maybe where the points of disconnect are and why there are multiple perspectives and solutions to whatever issue you've ended up tackling as a research project. So the main points that objective summary should cover: number 1, use the author's name. Bring up the title, bring up their employer. Anything that will add to that idea of credibility in evaluating sources is going to be really, really helpful. Also consider mentioning any prominent experts that are featured in the article. So a lot of times you'll read news stories, articles written by reporters or journalists, and they themselves may not be experts in this field, but they're probably interviewing experts, and it would be really helpful for you to tell me who they are, who these experts are that are being quoted. And it's good evaluation for you too, to try and look for that credibility in a source. And then these other 4 points, also important. So number 1, get to the specific topic that's covered in this article. So don't just tell me like, hey, this article is about gun control. That's a huge issue, right? What specific topics are being covered in this article? So maybe the source that you found is just specifically talking about background checks. That would be a lot more helpful than just gun control. And also tell me what perspective and solution maybe this article is presenting. So in this theoretical article that I'm talking about, maybe they're taking a look at background checks and why this person thinks they're important, why we need to have lengthier and more thorough background checks of anyone who buys a firearm. And then also make sure you include any kind of main and supporting arguments. So get to the why. So what are they talking about and why are they talking about it? Becomes really important. So those are the main parts. And how do we do this? So I'm going to give you a 2-step process. Number 1, write your topic sentence for this objective summary. And you can kind of tick off these 3 boxes in 1 sentence. So obviously you're going to identify the title and the author of the text, maybe any other relevant information. Use a strong verb like shows, describes, compares, illustrates, and then give me the central idea of a text. Here's what the overall point of this article was. In the author's ideas, not your ideas, right? Got to leave our opinion aside for now. So that's kind of sentence 1. Section 2 is going to be you evaluating and understanding and picking a couple of essential details, some of those main supporting arguments from the beginning, middle, and end of a text, right? So you can kind of think about this in three different sentences. So in the beginning of the article, what's the main idea? In the middle of the article, what's their main idea? At the end of the article, what's the main idea? And using those three kind of organizational pieces to build your objective summary and to help you understand what their argument is and how they made it. And as you're doing this, make sure you're paraphrasing this information. Don't copy and paste. You yourself process what they're saying, put it into your own words to help you understand this article. So let's take a look at an example. Here's an objective summary from an article from 2010. So take a look at this. The 2010 Scholastic Scope article, Stomp Out Bullying by Jennifer Dignan. Right there, I got all my relevant information out of the way. I got the publisher, I got the article title, I got the author, and then I go into this verb shows. Here's what it's showing. Here's the main idea. Why bullying is a problem and how it can be solved. There we go. Not super specific, but it's better than just saying this article is about bullying. No, it's more specifically why it's a problem and what solutions there are to it. So I'm going to assume that in the rest of the article, they're going to give me some of these solutions. And so you, in your objective summary, have to tell me that. Let's see how this plays out. So the article discusses how 1 in 4 teens is bullied. There we go. That's kind of defending this idea of why bullying is a problem. In fact, many schools and organizations have established anti-bullying programs to address this problem. One solution of how it can be solved. And then to help stop bullying, students should speak up when they are bullied or when they see bullying happening. There's another solution of how this can be solved. So I can read this summary and have a strong understanding of who said it and what they said without ever looking at the article myself, right? You're presenting this information to me. And there's enough detail for me or any reader to understand what the author's argument and focus and solution was. All right. Good luck, folks. I know you can do this, and work hard.